I have seen the White House keeps bringing out different people and presenting them and as new people who are either in the administration or who the administration is going to have some kind of relationship with in some ways, or who they're going to promote to do certain things, especially entrepreneurial kind of things. And there are several guys that came out that were presented just within the last couple of days. And one of these was Larry Ellison. He's an entrepreneur, and he made a statement from the White House. Trump called him up concerning the use of AI, and I'm going to put that presentation down below. Not the whole; it's like a half hour with everybody, but just him talking. And someone put it up on I think Instagram, and I'm just going to read what they had to say. Oracle CEO Larry Ellison told Donald Trump today that AI could revolutionize healthcare by enabling early cancer detection through the blood tests. Ellison explained that after sequencing a tumor's genes, AI can design a personalized MRNA vaccine for an individual and produce it robotically within 48 hours. And this just raises red flags to me. It sort of ignores the history of cancer. Cancer is a relatively modern dilemma. It's not something that, archaeologically we find people all over the world have been having cancer. Now, it's a new kind of thing, and it's a new kind of thing probably because of all the new technologies. All the technologies we've been using the last 100 years or so are causing things to happen to us. It ignores the fact that our bodies are naturally made to, as long as we're feeding ourselves good, wholesome food and not, putting ourselves in the way of hazardous materials, that our body can heal itself. This is just a reality. Otherwise, we'd all be dead within just a few years. We experience a lot of things, and a lot of them we don't even know about. A lot of them we find out later on after we experienced, oh my gosh, I exposed myself to that situation, whatever, right? But anyway, and that's a whole nother, probably many videos to talk about things like that. So, cancer is a relatively modern dilemma. Do we need a new technology, or do we need to just get back to nature? Then you have this technology he's talking about, the particular vaccine technology, which is a new technology. It's not the technology that we did vaccines over from 1950 to 2010 or whatever. This is new stuff, and we don't know a lot about it. And there's plenty of scientists and physicians, etc., who see big problems with it. And one of those is Dr. Robert Malone, who really, he came out against stuff a few years ago. And, they end up doing things like taking, and he's not the only one, multiple people had problems like this, where your state board would put some sanction against you or something like that, or take away your license. And it's just political stuff. It's not reality stuff. It's not based on, nothing's ever based on science these days. It's all politics, it seems. And I'm a little bit concerned that that's all this is just some political move that's being made and not really sound science. Now, so why pursue the course? Well, cancers have recently increased. In fact, USA Facts online indicates that from 2000 to 2001, occurrences of cancer increased 36.6%. That's a lot. That's a pretty good jump. Okay? Deaths, however, only increased 10.6%. But a lot more people died, but more people got some kind of cancer. Why is this? What was going on after 2000 to 2001? Well, I mean, what happened before that? What was happening? Think about that. So what we have is fear. They throw Hey, cancer's going up. We got to do something about it. And he's got a solution. He is a computer programmer. That's what he is. He's a computer programmer and entrepreneur who's figured out a way to push his particular product. Some entrepreneurs are more successful than others. Sometimes you're at the right place at the right time, right? Sometimes you're a good salesman. Whatever it is, just because you've got a product doesn't mean everybody actually needs it. Okay? How many different kind of mops have you ever used over your lifetime? There'll be a new one coming out soon, don't worry. As I said, he's a computer programmer, and he's made his fortune pursuing his technological advances, right? So, and he stated that he sees AI as the AI technology as a race to be first. I was watching another video of his, and he was talking about in that particular video, somebody's got to be first. There's two or three different people who are pursuing these technologies, and the key is to be the first guy. The key is to be out in front of everybody else. The key is to win the game. He's out to win the game. You are not important. Winning the game is important. How many times a football gets fallen on, kicked, thrown around, spiked in the ground during a football game? You guess what? Nobody cares about that football. All they care about is to win the football game. I don't want to be a football. Okay? So let's look at some technologies. If you've got a hammer, you realize you can, in most pieces of wood, you can drive a screw into a piece of wood with a hammer. That doesn't mean that is the best technology to use. You can, if you got a tumor on your arm, you can cut it out with a machete. That doesn't mean or you can burn it out with a blowtorch. That doesn't mean it's the best technology. So just because somebody wants to tell you to use a technology doesn't mean you need to use the technology. Okay? Was the atomic bomb a boon for humanity? That's a good question. Some people think it was a pretty bad thing. Most people think it's a pretty bad thing. I remember Lyle Alzado. You may not remember him. He was a football player with the Oakland Raiders. In order to bulk up, and this was what people were doing a lot of. We don't do it it's illegal in sports in general. But he was using anabolic steroids to bulk up, get a lot of muscle and everything. And he ended up getting brain cancer, brain tumors. His story is a very sad story. Hey, that was the technology. It took care of a problem that he had. He wasn't bulky enough, he didn't think. So let's use anabolic steroids. It's a technology. Does it mean you should be pursuing the use of it? The longbows won that Battle of Agincourt, so they say. Well, you can use a longbow to shoot deer or rabbits or whatever, right? In 1415, they used it to kill a lot of Frenchmen. The English did, right? Gunpowder. At one point, the Chinese were using that basically for fireworks. Whoopee! Great. We figured out a different way to use it. Was that a good technology to learn how to use? Would we be just as well off using that longbow? Life would certainly be different today, and sports would be different as far as people who are hunting for sport. So, I watched the Ellison, there's a couple of Ellison videos, and one of the things he said was citizens would be on, and this was talking about the AI technology and what it could do and how it could be used for crime, etc. So he's on board for AI. Basically, most people who are on board for AI is about let's be able to see all the information we can as fast as we can so that we can control everything as quickly and efficiently as we can. And that seems okay for running some machines in your factory, right? There's questions of your personal liberty whenever there's cameras all over the place. So he said citizens would be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording everything that's going on. He said that they'll have the police cameras on them. The police couldn't misbehave because they have cameras on, and the citizens couldn't misbehave because there's CCTV on every other pole. Now, this may seem silly to you, but all you have to do is look at China, and all you have to. I look at China all the time. I watch videos of, hey, this is an amazing thing around the world, and they'll show videos of all kind of crazy things. They can be funny things, they can be dangerous things, or whatever they are. I was watching one the other day, and it was showing like things like holes appearing in the ground, and people almost falling in them, just missing falling into these holes, where like water pipes would burst under the concrete or whatnot, or the asphalt in a town, that kind of thing. And people would be walking along, and all of a sudden, they fortunately take that one last step, and where they were at just a second ago is a hole. Okay. There were multiple videos of this, and I started thinking, as I was watching, I was thinking, man, that's a lot of videos. And it hit me, look, many, many, many of these videos are in China. Why do we have so many videos in China? Because the Chinese have cameras everywhere watching everybody do everything. Okay? Now, this was interesting. A few days later, I was listening to some guys they live in China. They're Westerners, two guys, but they do stories. They come online and they talk about what's going on in China. I remember not long ago I saw one where they were talking about how China is ahead, is claimed, everybody thinks China's ahead with electric cars. And they were showing how there's just all these cars parked in like pastures in China, where the manufacturers just make the cars because they have to get credit from the government to make the cars. So they're getting credit for being big car makers, but they're just going putting them out in a pasture. Nobody's buying the dadgum things. So anyway, that's an aside, but just showing you how things are going in China. So in China, there's a camera on everything. You might remember in the health scare back several years ago, that where it started, they showed us videos of people falling over in the streets in China all the time, right? Oh, there goes another person just standing on the street corner and falling out dead or sick or whatever, right? You might have seen that. I don't know what those were about, but they were certainly, the intent of showing us those videos was to scare us. There's no doubt about that. Maybe they wanted to scare us for our own good, but they were to make us concerned. Anyway, when you got cameras everywhere, well, they're the drunks standing on the street and falling over one night after being out drinking. Maybe that's who it is that fell over on the street. There's cameras everywhere. What's ironic, though, let me get back to the guys who live in China. These guys were talking, and they said, hey, what's interesting is when a crime happens, the cameras never are working. They don't have a record of the crime. The cameras aren't working. And they said, of course, the cameras aren't working because the police don't want to bother with looking it up. That's all there is to it. And they said this happens constantly. Crimes happen, somebody steals something from a shop or on the street or something. And there's no camera. Don't worry about it. Just go on. Because they don't care. Anyway, cameras everywhere, whether they're working or not. And obviously, you can see people fall into holes or fall over dead or whatever they are because there's cameras everywhere. They got you on camera. Do we want that? Do we want to be in a society where Larry Ellison can sell his technology and have you and me, I can't go outside and have a private moment anywhere? Anyway, it's just something to think about. We certainly need to think about it. So Ellison is about pushing new technology and gaining fame and fortune and being number one. Like he said, it's a race to be first. That's what he's in. And he's now been engaged by the new administration to run some kind of special deal about this. I don't know how it's going to work out. Uh, if you don't like it, you need to tell your congressman or something, right? If you like it, tell your congressman. Tell him you'd like to be traced everywhere you go all the time. So you have Ellison pushing this idea of technology to solve the problem of cancer. And then we have somebody else in the administration, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who talks all the time about eating healthy food and stuff like that. Now, who's going to win out? What argument? What is the solution? It seems like these two things are headed in two different directions. So it'll be interesting to see where we end up. Who is the main messenger of our future? What is the real solution of our future? Taking care of ourselves, eating wholesome things. I hear that a lot of places they're taking the fluoride out of the water. All these many kind of things. What can we do to get back to healthy food? I was watching a video just a few days ago, and I don't think I've done anything on it. I'll do something soon on it. And they were talking about detoxifying the soils, all the crap that gets put in the soils with these fertilizers and weed killers and plants that are genetically modified that cause problems for other crops, etc., etc. But do we continue to pursue all of our great technology, which there are piles of people in agricultural schools, in chemistry departments, etc., across the nation who are pursuing all of these kind of things. And of course, a lot of them are just, some of it is just, hey, I got to do a master's project, so let me study this, right? This, that, or the other. And we're trying to find things out. But at some point, somebody is writing a book and making money off of it or gaining prestige off of it. And then the idea gets put out as being sensible, and maybe it's not so sensible. Just because we can do something doesn't mean we need to do it. And we need to really look at that hard. Anyway, you can find those videos below. Please like, subscribe, comment. Please comment. Let other people know that you agree with it or that you got a version. I make comments on some of the people I watch. I'll occasionally make a comment to say, hey, that's good. I agree with that. You're going in the right direction, or I appreciate what you had to say, etc. So, or sometimes just I'll say, no, you're going in the wrong direction. You need to consider something else. Anyway, like, subscribe, and I'll see you the next time around. Have a good day.